Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are and what time you get to watch this video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like the conversation of the day, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on the conversation of the day and if there's anything you'd like to see us tackle on this channel. Thank you for all the feedback, the comments, the likes. I really appreciate that you are on this journey with me. I don't take that for granted. I'm back with an exciting conversation, a conversation we probably have had too many times, but I want us to unlearn, relearn, and redefine what we know. So grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, grab your seat, sit down, because we need to talk. Last week we began talking about taking agency of our life. And we'd say that taking agency is really taking control or taking back power of our lives. And this week, I want to continue with the same conversation, but be more specific. I want to talk about taking agency of our mental health. I know you're thinking, not again, not that conversation again. You're probably thinking when I talk about mental health, your mind skipped to schizophrenia, bipolar, mania, psychosis. I know that's where our mind went. However, I'm not here for the technical term. I'm not here for the medical term. I am here to have an ordinary conversation with ordinary, normal people, which is you and I. In fact, I'm here to talk to people who are saying, I'm fine, I'm productive, I'm working, my family is together, everything is just fine. If that's you, okay, grab a seat because you are my audience today. And I want to begin by saying that a lot of us ignore mental health because we look at mental health as a crisis. We look at mental health as a disease, as a sickness. We look at it as chaos. Yeah? So I'm going to begin by reading out for you the World Health Organization definition of mental health. So allow me to find it. Mental health is a state of mental well-being. Did you hear that? State of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn and work well, and contribute to their community. It has intrinsic and instrumental value and is a basic human right. So, from that definition, we get to learn that mental health is not a disease. No. Mental health actually is how you cope with life. It is how you know your abilities. It is how you learn to live and work with others. It is how you make your contribution to community. And the reason why that is an important definition is because we now get to know that mental health can be positive and it can be negative. Also, we get to learn that the small decisions we make daily, the small choices we make every day, either contribute positively or negatively to our mental health. This conversation is a bit long, so I'm not going to have it in one video because, yeah, we are that generation that has a short concentration span. So, because I don't want to keep talking endlessly, I'm going to divide this conversation into two parts. Today, we'll mainly diagnose what mental health is. We will look at things that we probably should be paying attention to that we are ignoring. So, there are things that are happening in our lives that we generally should be paying attention to, but we are ignoring them because the world has branded them as normal. So things that have been normalized, in fact, in some instances, rewarded, that are slowly turning our mental health into a crisis, that are slowly moving us from healthy mental, a healthy state of mental health to an unhealthy state of mental health. So today we're just going to break down, we're going to diagnose, we're going to look at the signs, and then next week we'll talk about how do we take back power. Yeah, is that good? So I'm here for the people who are saying I'm okay. Me, I'm fine. Everything is okay. In fact, I just got a promotion. In fact, I just married. Have you seen the car I'm driving? Have you seen the kind of house I'm building? I just bought a house in Tatu City. I just bought 10 acres of land. What are you talking about? I'm fine. Everything is okay. Yes, you are the reason I'm here tonight. It's night when I'm recording this. So if I say tonight, if it's not night when you watch it, yeah, it was at night when I was recording this. Okay, now, what are the signs? What are the things we need to start looking out for? Not signs per se, what are the things we need to start looking out for? Yeah? What are the things we've normalized that we probably need to start changing? The things that we think are good things that we probably need to start looking at differently. That we need to start unlearning and relearning new habits. What are those things? Number one, high functioning anxiety. Now, what is high functioning anxiety? High functioning anxiety is you are doing really well in life. You started from the bottom of your career, you've built promotion after promotion, you're doing fine. You are a young man, you were walking around, you've now married a beautiful girl, you have two beautiful children, you're fine. Yeah? You had a small business somewhere, you were the only one working in that business. Now you have two, three employees. Your turnover is starting to look like almost to the tune of 1 million. You're doing fine. Everything is working. But is it? Is it really working? Because a lot of us, we are not performing because we are disciplined. We are performing because we are anxious. I'm going to pause for you to hear that. You're not performing well because you didn't double your sales last month because you're disciplined. And I'm not saying everyone who's performing well is having a problem. However, there's a good chunk of us who our performance is not based on discipline. It is not based on, sorry, our, our performance is not triggered by discipline. It's not triggered by ambition. It's triggered by anxiety. What do I mean? You've gotten to that place, and now the thing that makes you wake up every morning to go to work is because you're afraid if I lost this job, I don't know what I would do with my life. You are working on that business non-stop. You are endlessly working on that business because you do not know what you will do with your life if that business collapses. So a lot of us, we are on the grind every day in, day out, because we have no idea what would happen if what we have been working on for so long is no longer there. And maybe I will pause and ask, if today you woke up and you couldn't do what you do every day, who are you without that thing? Who are you without your job? Who are you without your business? Who are you without your marriage? Who are you without that thing that gets you out of bed every morning? Who are you? If that thing was taken away from you, who would you be? Yeah? I want you to pause and think about that for a minute. Who are you without that thing that you constantly wake up to do? Because a lot of us, our motivation is not discipline. We are not disciplined, we are not ambitious, we are scared. And it's not a bad thing. To be honest, sometimes fear is not it's not the worst thing. The fear of failure is not always a horrible thing. However, if it becomes the main thing and the main motivator, then you're slowly moving into a crisis. Because the day you wake up and that thing that moves you, that fear, finally turns to reality and you can no longer do that thing. You wake up and there's a termination letter on your desk. You wake up and something happens and your business crumbles. You wake up and your family breaks. You end up in what now becomes a full blown crisis. A lot of us can't rest. I struggle with that. I have had to be intentional. I have days when I sit in the house and I tell myself, Evelyn, today you're not cleaning, you're not doing anything, you are sitting and you're doing nothing. And nothing does not mean sleeping. I don't sleep because sleep is not rest. A lot of us mistake sleep for rest. But sometimes I wake up, I sit on my couch, cover myself with a blanket, and watch silly sitcoms. Laugh like a stupid person in the house by myself. And I think those are the best days of my life. After that day, I am refreshed. I can absolutely do anything. And we need to learn that. And I had to learn to not feel guilty about doing that because I would do that and then I would feel like I am wasting my time. I am not being ambitious. I'm not working hard enough. And I would beat myself up so much. And that is what most of us are doing. We are constantly battling ourselves for taking a minute to breathe. We need to learn to rest without feeling guilty. Okay? All right. The next one, constant overwhelm. I think all of us understand this. And I want to say you're not weak. You're just tired. You're just overwhelmed. There's just too much weight on your shoulders. Yeah. From the world economies, yeah, looking like they're losing it, to financial demands that never end, to workplace stress and deadlines that almost seem impossible to beat, to family demands. There's too much weight on our shoulders. The pressure to succeed, the pressure of social media and constant comparison. There's too much pressure on our shoulders. And I know a lot of us are feeling like I don't have the, I can't, I genuinely can't. I have had moments when I have felt I have no strength to leave my bed. When I have been tempted to pick my phone and call in sick because I have no strength to leave my bed. And I know someone would think you're being lazy. I'm not being lazy. And if you felt that way, you're not being lazy. You're just overwhelmed. You're tired. You're carrying too much weight on your shoulder. You're carrying so much weight. You're tired, Mama. You're tired, my friend. And sometimes this manifests itself through procrastination. You just want to keep putting off things because you don't have the energy to do it now. You're like, I can't be bothered to do this right now. I'm just going to do this tomorrow when I have more energy. Yeah. Sometimes it manifests through brain fogs. I don't know if any one of you has ever felt like my mind cannot process any more life. I don't know if anybody has ever felt that. I just cannot process any more life. If you give me more information, I'm genuinely going to lose it. Sometimes it manifests itself through forgetfulness. You forget the very tiny details. Sometimes you start doing something and 2 minutes later you're like, what was I doing? You cannot remember the things that matter. I don't know. Sometimes you find yourself in a place where it becomes so hard to keep track of anything. You constantly forget things. Sometimes that's your mind saying, hey, you pushed me too hard. You need to slow down. You need to take a breather. That's your mind saying, hey, I'm done. You are pushing me too hard. I need to breathe. You need to give me a time to refresh. The next one is doom scrolling and overstimulation. We are a generation that is constantly scrolling. Constantly. You wake up in the morning, you've not even opened your eyes properly, and you're on your phone, you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're looking at this, you're looking at that. And in the first hour of your waking up of your day, before you even do anything, you've had news of someone who's been killed, you've had news of a relationship that has broken down, you've had news of a country that is at war, you've consumed so much. Before you even start your day, you're tired because you've consumed so much. And unfortunately, most of it is negative. Most of it is not helpful. Most of it is just weighing you down. It's just making you feel like the world is a horrible place. And you've consumed, you've consumed, you've consumed. God did not create us to consume information and carry the weight of the world on our shoulders every single day. That's not how we were made. And that's why the word of God says, come to me, you that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. God made us to function from a place of rest. But the way we are living life, constantly doom scrolling, constantly overstimulated, our minds can never sit in silence. We need to start mastering just sitting in silence and hearing our thoughts. Start mastering having minutes of meditation in the morning, allowing your mind to process, okay, you are awake, then what? Allowing your mind to process that you are going through life, allowing your mind to have a breather, to have a moment, to just take it in slowly. Because currently, we are constantly giving our mind something to think about, and our minds are saying, I have had enough. I made two decisions. The first decision is that when I wake up, I don't touch my phone until I have had a shower, I have had time to pray, and before I touch my phone, I open my TV, I put on some uplifting music. By the time I'm touching that phone, my mind is in a state where I can process information. The second thing is that I actually limited my social media consumption to 1 hour a day. So now, anything beyond 1 hour, no. So I've limited my internet consumption to 1 hour every day. So as soon as it's done, my phone automatically locks all my social media apps. So that is me telling myself, that's it, you've had enough for the day. An extra thing I do is now at least 1 hour to bed, my phone gets off. So now the only reason I'll be on my phone 1 hour before bed is that I'm speaking to my husband because we are in a long distance marriage, and I'll put my phone by my on my bedstand. I will have it on loudspeaker. I will lie on my bed and I'll speak to him without touching that phone. That way, my mind is able to rest. I'm able to give my mind a chance to actually calm down. And a lot of us need to start developing healthy habits when it comes to consumption of internet information. Are we together? Are you following me? Good. Next one, emotional numbness. We are surviving through life. So many of us have been in situations where we've gone through so much pain. Now we just get through life. We are not feeling, no emotion, no nothing. We're just going through life. We are present, but we're really not present. We're just surviving through life. Like we're just there. And you want to know what's true? Look at how much alcohol consumption people that is going on. Look at how much abuse of substances is going on. Look at how much people are indulging in vain things to numb the emotions because we don't want to feel. Because we've been through such experiences, us not feeling is easier than feeling. So we've conditioned ourselves not to feel. So now we just live life. We wake up, live through a day, come back home, sleep, wake up, live through another day. We are living. There's almost no purpose to our lives. Like we are almost living lives that have very little meaning. We are on survival mode. It's like, sorry, we engage neutral and we just let the car move without any effort, without any thought, without any feeling. And I get why, because some of the experiences we've been through, it's easier to not feel than to feel. I was in a relationship that had a lot of hurt. I think I got used to the hurt. I stopped feeling. I literally just, yeah, it was just, okay. I was, I was moving with gravity. And a lot of us have been, that's where we found ourselves. I have found ourselves in situations where we've gone through so much. We've carried so much weight that now we're just walking through life numb. No feeling, nothing, nada. We're just walking through life. We're just cruising. We've put our lives on self-drive mode and now we're just going. The only danger with this is that we miss the signs because our emotions usually are designed by God. God designed our emotions to alert us when something is wrong. So when something goes wrong and you feel sad, that is your body saying something has gone wrong. When someone does something and you feel angry, that's your body saying, I didn't like that. When something positive happens and you're happy, that's your body saying, I actually enjoyed that. But when we numb down, our body misses the signs. So what happens eventually is someone wakes up and we are like, they died by suicide. And we're like, what do you mean? They were fine. They were okay. What do you mean they died by suicide? They were fine yesterday. What do you mean? But it's like people are living amongst us on survival mode. We are on survival mode. And you wake up one day and like, I can't do this anymore. And you're fed up. And you end your own life. And everyone is shocked. They're like, we were laughing with them yesterday. They were at work yesterday. They were performing. They were doing so well. We numb ourselves down until one day. Because at the end of the day, the way God created us, your feelings are real. Your feelings, they are very real. And they will come to the top at some point. And if you don't work on it, if you don't acknowledge what's going on, if you numb them down, one day there's going to be an explosion. And that's how people end up doing stuff and you're like, that doesn't make sense. They were okay. It's because we've been numbing down our lives. We've made ourselves numb. We don't feel anything anymore. If it hurts, let's drink it down. Let's party like it's the 19th. Let's party like there's no tomorrow. Let's do everything to make sure we don't feel the pain. Honey, don't numb down what you're feeling. Your feelings are important. They are signs. It is how your body tells you this is good, this is not nice, I like this, I don't like this. Good. Next one, burnout disguised as ambition. This is very closely related to the first one I talked about. So now we were cultured to believe you need to keep working harder. We were cultured to believe the harder you work, the higher you get, the more you earn, the more people respect you. That's why every parent told their child they were number one in class. I always wonder, because all our parents were number one, who was last in their classes? Because I don't know, I need someone to tell me. Please comment and tell me if your parents ever told you they were last in their class. Because we need to award honest parents. Because every parent was number one in class. So who was last in their classes? In a story for another day. But all of us were told you need to be number one. And every parent pushed their child, you need to be number one. Even children who they knew this child is not academically gifted. But even that child that they knew is not academically gifted was given help to be number one. And they would actually be thrashing for not being number one. We all had to be number one. And then when you become number one, you get the highest marks in primary school, you need to get the highest marks in high school, and then go to university, to the best university, get a degree, preferably one in law or in medicine or in engineering or in architecture. You need to get those white collar, high profile degrees. And then after you get that, you need to get a job in one of the biggest companies, and then you need to get a promotion, eventually, hopefully become the CEO of that company. We were taught to keep running. We were taught ambition means you are important, means you are a hard worker. Ambition is the key to life. The only problem with that is if you are constantly running, one, you miss to enjoy today because you're constantly chasing tomorrow. And a lot of us have been chasing tomorrow for so long, we have missed today. We never live. We've never lived a single day of our lives because we've spent our entire life chasing tomorrow. We've spent our entire life chasing what can be. That we've never lived a single day of our lives. And because we've never lived, because you never get enough. We were never told when enough is enough. We were only told to keep chasing. You need to be number one. You need to be number one. Because we were told to chase, we never know when it is enough. So now you get a car, you need to get the newest car. You need to get the best car. You need to get um, the newest model. You need to get a better car every single time. So your colleague bought this, you need to up what they bought. So now you bought an iPhone 17 last year, September. Now September is coming, you're aiming for the iPhone 18. Last year you went to Dubai, now you need to go to Seychelles. We are always moving. You got the managerial position last year, now you need to get the COO. We keep chasing, we are constantly chasing. So now we are burnt out. We are so burnt out, we have no energy. We are running on negative. Everything is blinking red, 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 red. All our signals, our bodies are crashing. We are constantly in hospital. We are running. Now we are living on energy drinks and endless cups of coffee. And now we are trying to get this vitamin and this other vitamin and this other supplement and this other supplement. We are constantly trying to fuel the burnout. We are working from a place of negative. When was the last time you rested? When is enough enough? When is it ever enough? When do you ever get to the place where you say, I think I have finally gotten what I've been working for? When do you sit down to enjoy the work of your hand. You've been fighting all your life. You are 50 and you are still fighting. When is it ever enough? When do we ever feel like we have amassed enough? Where does the race stop? Where is the finishing line? We've been running, but where is the finishing line? When do we stop? When do we stop running and running and running and seeking the next best thing? Because if we do not know where the finishing line is, if we don't identify that finishing line soon, we will soon be in a crisis. The next one, lack of joy. And I'm not talking about lack of happiness. Happiness is a state where you feel some kind of excitement because something happens. And none of us is always happy. Life, and unfortunately, life happens. So we have moments where we're not feeling so nice and happy. I'm talking about joy. I'm talking about feeling like you have something to live for, feeling like you have something worth waking up in the morning. And a lot of us have lost the source of the feeling of joy. We've we've forgotten what it means to feel excited about life. A lot of us, I don't know the last time you had something that made you feel like, oh my God, I am glad to be alive. When was the last time you felt alive? When was the last time you felt like life is worth something? When was the last time you felt like the effort I put into work, the effort I put into raising my family is actually worth it? When was the last time life felt worth it? When was the last time you felt, I'm glad I'm here today? When was the last time you had that feeling of, thank God I'm alive? Are you living life? Are you surviving through life? Are you living life like it's just something you need to do because you don't have a choice? When was the last time you felt a sense of purpose in your life? Ponder on that. I want to say something before I close this session because I'm about to close. I'm not pointing these things out to put you in a place of hopelessness. I'm pointing them out to make you realize that there are things in your life that need work. Because recognizing that something is not working, recognizing that something is off is the first step to fixing it. And that's why I started by saying, I'm not here for the person who knows they're struggling. I'm here for the person who thinks they're okay. Because the person who knows they're struggling is most likely fixing it. Is most likely, maybe they've been diagnosed, so they're on medication. Some of them because they understand what they're dealing with, they understand why they do certain things, they understand why they behave the way they behave, and so they are in to some level in control of what is happening in their lives. I understand it's a process, it's not perfect, but the fact that you know what's going on in your life means that you are a step closer. And we can't always fix and we can't control what's happening in our lives. But at least if we know we are struggling or something is off, if we know there's a warning sign somewhere, then we are able to fix things before we get to the crisis stage. And so today I came to arouse an awareness in you. I came to trigger you to know that something is off. I came to trigger you from telling yourself, I am okay, I'm fine, I don't need to think about it. And I came to get us to sit down with ourselves and ask ourselves hard questions and get to trace where are we on the spectrum? Where are we on this graph? Are we in control? Have we lost control? Are we in a place where we are slowly gravitating towards a crisis? Where are we? So this is not a conversation of hopelessness. This is not a conversation. It's not a condemnation. One, it's me also telling you that you're not the only one. And a lot of us are in that place where you are. You're not alone in that place. So it's me saying we are in this together. There's a lot of us who are in this, who are sharing the struggle you are going through. And if we can recognize that something is off, then we can start working to have our mental health in a good and a positive place and not end up in a crisis. So today I want us to just take a moment and breathe. I want us to take a moment and get away from the hustle and bustle of life. I want us to take a moment and enjoy rest. I encourage you this week to take a moment and enjoy rest. I encourage you this week to weigh, is your ambition healthy or does it need to be toned down? I want you to ask yourself, am I chasing constantly or am I simply trying to get the next best thing without enjoying today? And maybe this week, take a walk, go into nature, look at the beautiful works of God. Listen to the birds sing. When was the last time you heard a bird sing? Listen to the birds sing. Watch the leaves fall off the tree. Have some hours where you're doing nothing. And I mean nothing. I don't mean sleep. I mean do nothing. Think about nothing. Do nothing. Next week I'll show you something I do when I'm trying to do nothing and think about nothing. That's for next week. But I want you to take a breath. Take a breath this week. Get off life. God did not design you to work, 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 work. God designed you to work from a place of rest. God design for man was that man would work from a place of rest, that man would enjoy the rest of God. That was God's design for us. That was God's plan for you and I. And that is why when God created man, he put him in Eden. And when God gave man work, he didn't give man work from a place of toil. He gave man work from a place of rest. That was God's initial design for you and I. And so, because we don't have two lives, because life is not a rehearsal, because unfortunately you only live one, then you urge yourself to live right and live a full, satisfactory life. So I pray for you and I that we will start realizing where we have normalized bad habits that are slowly turning our mental health into a crisis. And so before I finish, if you allow me to pray for you, and then we'll pick it from there next week. Dear Lord, thank you for the conversation of the day. Thank you for helping us realize where we have not been very keen on our mental health, where we have normalized things that were not your design for us, where we have turned ambition into an unhealthy habit, where we have turned our lives into a constant race. God, help us to discover your rest because you have promised us rest. You said if we come to you, all we who are weary and heavy laden, you will give us rest. Help us to discover your rest. Help us to trust in you because half the time, the reason why we are constantly running and trying to solve life and fix life is that we don't realize that we belong to you, that you have a good plan for us, that you have a plan to give us a future and a hope. He said, we don't realize that you came that we may have life and have it in abundance. Help us to live full lives, to, to live abundant lives, because that is why you died on the cross. This week, may someone enjoy rest. This week, may someone get to discover the peace that surpasses human understanding. This week, may someone enjoy healing. May someone enjoy your love, your comfort, and your rest. We thank you and we give you praise. We just want to pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you for watching it to the end. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if you are enjoying this conversation. Please let me know if you can relate to it. Let me know. Please give me your feedback. Your feedback helps me to keep doing better and to keep growing. Until next week, when we talk about how do we take agency of our mental health. Now that we know what we've been doing wrong, next week we get to know how can we fix it. So have a lovely week. May the Lord do you well. May you have a prosperous week. May you have a blessed week. May this week be full of so many victories. Until next week, have a beautiful, beautiful week. I love you all.